It's been over 6 months since the election results of Maharashtra state assembly elections are out. But the dust is yet to settle completely when it comes to conversations surrounding the authenticity or the credibility, surrounding the results of this particular election is concerned, especially amongst the workers or the supporters of the opposition parties. Now, why is it a part of the current conversation or narrative, not just in the state but across the country? Well, there are different versions to it, but it all started with an article written by Rahul Gandhi yesterday, wherein he very pinpointedly talked about 5 reasons or 5 ways through which match fixing was conducted here in Maharashtra, through which Mahayuti won with a historic mandate. Now, of course, after that article came out, there was a lot of criticism that Rahul Gandhi received, not just from the political end of the spectrum, but also from the election commission, as they spoke about how time and again clarification has been given out. But then there were also many voices amongst the opposition parties led by the Congress party, which talked about how there have not been any satisfactory answers that have been given. Now, before we delve deeper into what exactly is the controversy about, and we'll also talk about how Devendra Fadnavis has written, a counter article, rebutting what Rahul Gandhi had said. Uh, why is it that Rahul Gandhi has written this article? Now, when you talk about this to the BJP leaders or workers, there is a very common perception amongst them, as they say, that it is a very opportunistic activity, given the fact that the campaign for the Bihar State Assembly election has officially started, and according to them, the Congress party is disarming itself even before the electoral battle for Bihar begins. Whereas when we spoke to the Congress leaders here in Maharashtra, and even the opposition leaders from other parties, they talked about how there is nothing surprising in the stance taken by the leader of opposition, because while for the national media it might be a new narrative, but in the state here it has been a part of a daily political conversation about how election results in 2024 Maharashtra Assembly were not fully credible. Now, there are 5 points that Rahul Gandhi has made, but a few stand out as more important ones. He talked about how the constitution of the committee which appoints or selects the chief election commissioner is swaying, is swaying, unusually in favor of the ruling dispensation, with two cabinet ministers, including prime minister, and only one leader of opposition. Rahul Gandhi also talked about how there was an unusually increased number of voters and voting turnout pattern changing from what was the case earlier in the 2024 Vidhan Sabha election. One number that he mentioned was about how, in Lok Sabha election, the rise of voters from 2019 Vidhan Sabha election to 2024 Lok Sabha election was lesser than the rise from 2024 Lok Sabha election to 2024 Vidhan Sabha election. That's like a calculation difference of 5 years versus 5 months, and yet the the number of voters in 5 months period is more than the former. But all of these points have been countered by Devendra Fadnavis today. He's written another article wherein he's tried to address all of these points separately. This kind of a rebuttal was expected from the Election Commission of India, is what the Congress party says, and they did give a statement yesterday. But the Congress party believes that it is a rather vague statement, as it does not help the observers restore the faith back in the electoral machinery. Now, what is it that Devendra Fadnavis has said? It is very interesting because, he has mentioned, he has given some examples, just like how Rahul Gandhi gave some examples of the Kamti constituency. Devendra Fadnavis has also given examples of certain constituencies in Western Maharashtra, in Northern Maharashtra, wherein the increased vote share seems to have benefited the Mahavikas Aghadi alliance. He's also spoken about how the increased number of voters, which was the very crux of Rahul Gandhi's article, is a very natural phenomenon. He's talked about how, in 2004, 2009, 2014, and 2019 election, this kind of increase has been happening. And in all of these elections, the winner has been a different party, right? It's only since the last 15 years that the BJP is winning, but before that, it was the Congress party benefiting out of it. So, that is how Devendra Fadnavis has tried to corner Rahul Gandhi on that front. He's also spoken about how, when it was the Congress party in power, not just in the state, but in the country from 1950s onwards, they had made sure rather that the constitution of the body which appoints the election commissioner of India, is favoring the Congress party, and the same has been made more democratic, according to Devendra Fadnavis, with the 2:1 formula, wherein two cabinet ministers and one leader of opposition is included. While this, mudslinging continues between the BJP and the Congress party, it is expected to continue in the future course of time as well. What Election Commission of India is saying is that Rahul Gandhi should ideally approach them with facts and figures rather than going to the media. But even that has been rebutted by the Congress party, wherein they say that going to the people directly using media or in the form of articles is completely constitutional, and especially in a case wherein the Election Commission of India is not acting as an objective force as it should in an ideal situation. We also talked to a lot of Congress leaders today, trying to understand what they think of the rebuttal by Devendra Fadnavis and whether they are satisfied by that kind of a rebuttal. They've got certain fundamental issues to highlight. They say that Devendra Fadnavis was never expected to answer these questions because the questions were never addressed to the BJP. While the BJP might be the major beneficiary of this particular corruption, is what they call, but the questions were directed to the Election Commission of India. So why is Devendra Fadnavis acting as an advocate for the Election Commission of India? These are the exact words of the Maharashtra Congress Party chief here in the state. They also say that Election Commission of India, while on one hand says that Congress leaders and Congress workers were present on polling booths while the election process was taking place, but the Congress leaders and the Congress workers were not taken into consideration when voter registration was taking place, right? The process or the procedure for registering voters is a long one, and it starts way before the election. And that is exactly where the ghost lies as far as this entire matter is concerned. So what is the conclusion of all of this? While we are still in day 2 of this battle, which seems to be never ending at this point of time, it might seem that it is going nowhere at this moment, but it is very interesting to know what both the parties are saying. While the BJP states that it is, as I said earlier, is just a way through which the Congress party is preparing itself for another loss in Bihar. Prithviraj Chavan, the former chief minister of the state of Maharashtra, yesterday said that they are not expecting any sort of a platonic or platonic shift to take place as far as electoral machinery or activity in the state of the country is concerned. But they just want this to you become a part of normal narrative across different communities and across different sections of Indian population, so that they question Election Commission of India whenever and wherever necessary. While Bihar election is the key word in this entire conversation, it is also important to note that civic body polls are also coming up here in Maharashtra in the next 2 or 3 months, and the trust of the general mass in the Election Commission of India, of Maharashtra in this in this particular example, becomes very important, as it is after almost 7 to 8 years that a Maharashtrian will step out of their house to vote for their local corporator. With camera person Sunil Kankriyal, this is Anuj Rai reporting for NDTV from Mumbai.